Simone out with me. Let me adjust my lighting. Apology about that. It's a little brighter than I thought it would be. There we go. It's a little bit better. So, we got Simone out with us, and we also have Olive. I've noticed that y'all are really interested in these two guys, so figured I'd get them out while we do this live video over husbandry or basic setup for leopard geckos. So, what you would want to get before you even get a gecko would be a 20, 40 gallon or above enclosure to keep them in. And with lighting, I prefer to use 2 domes for our lights, and when we put 100 to 150 watt light bulb in the lights, we use light during the day, and then we also use a light during the nighttime. Well, not a light, but a ceramic heat lamp, just so they can still have that heat. But the hot side needs to be 89 to 92 degrees for them to digest their food. It helps digest their food very well. And as you can tell, she's a chunk just by looking at her. She's a sweet girl. Just had her the longest. She is my oldest gecko, but she is sweet. And for your substrate, you can use paper towels, newspaper, shelf liner, which would be very easy to clean, keep clean. Also paper towels. You can use stone tiles, or we personally use jungle mix, and we bake it in the oven for at 250 for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, just to bake that extra humidity out. But it works great in the tanks that we have here. And or you can create your own substrate consisting of 40% organic topsoil, 40% play sand, and 20% clay or excavator clay or something like that. I haven't personally done it, but I know a few breeders that have, and they enjoy it quite well. But like I said, we personally use jungle mix and do the baking it at 250 for 20 to 25 minutes. Also, you would need 3 hides in your tank, one being on the cool side, one being on the hot side, and then one preferably in the middle for your humid hide. Now in that humid hide, you would want to put sphagnum moss and moisten it a little bit. Keep it moist, really well, so it can help with shedding, because that helps our geckos shed really well. Or you can put moist, damp paper towels in the hide, the humid hide, and that also works as well, and it helps with shedding. Alright, you want to get back up, pretty girl? We'll get Olive out. Alright, let's see. We're going to get old Olive out here. She's more of laid back and calm. Simone's more of a wanderer. She likes to wander all over the place. So, get a pretty girl out here. Show you the Olive. And I'll be doing another live, I don't know when, probably this weekend, over the morphs that we have. You can tell she is a Murphy's patternless, which we'll go over that more in detail when I go do another live. Now, back to your care sheet, your husbandry and stuff like that. You also need, of course, a water bowl, water dish. It doesn't need to be very deep because they can drown. You don't want them to drown. And you will need a little cap or dish. You can do a little lid cap or dish, it doesn't matter. calcium supplement. They need it without D3 or with D3. As long as they're getting some sort of calcium in them, because they'll go to it on their own and eat it whenever they feel like they need the food or need the calcium. But replace it weekly so they can have fresh calcium every week. But be sure to replace it because they prefer fresh calcium. Ain't that right? And let's see. Oh, with the calcium, we usually use the Flukers. Yes, the Flukers or Zoo Meds. And you can get that at PetSmart, Petco, your local pet store, or a reptile store if you have one. Let's see, going over things. You need a mealworm dish if you prefer to leave your mealworms in the tank. You need an escape-proof dish because they can't escape. I've had that issue. And then they've turned into beetles, which they can eat the beetles. Won't hurt them. They can eat the little larvae that they turn into. Won't hurt them. They actually enjoy either or. But a mealworm dish is just something like plastic or ceramic where the mealworms can't climb out. And she's so sweet. You can also just put 10, 15 mealworms in that little dish, and they'll go over there to them. I also tongue feed our geckos, so they're used to being tongue fed. And you can tell she's a healthy girl too. Very vibrant colors, both of them. Simone is actually about to start her shed, so she will be very brighter color the next time I show her off after her shed. And let's see, their diet. Yes, you need to know their diet. So with adults, we feed 1 to 3 times per week. And that's consisting of crickets, doobie roaches, mealworms, silkworms, and that is our staple feeders. That's what you would want to feed on a regular basis. And for rare treats, don't give them this all the time because they can get addictive to them, and they can become obese on them and refuse to, eat any other insect besides these insects. And those are the hornworms, waxworms, and the butterworms. Now, I have been feeding waxworms to our other girl, Quinn, that I have over there because she's been egg laying. But I don't give them to her every single day. It's, I'd say, twice a week. I give her about 5 waxworms. And I also make sure she's getting mealworms on top of that because I want her to have a lot of nutrition while she's going through egg laying. Because she's already laid 2 clutches of eggs, and she's still got 3 more months left of laying eggs for us. So I want to make sure she stays healthy and chunky and not lose all of her weight. And like I said, this little girl is a sweetheart. I mean, if y'all have any questions, don't hesitate to get a hold of me or get in contact with me through the YouTube channel or the TikTok channel or my Facebook group page or anything of that matter. I think I went over all of the basics that you would need. We use a heat mat underneath the tank. We don't put it in the tank, in the enclosure. You don't do that because it can burn them. Stay away from heated rocks. That can burn them as well if they get on it. They're very sensitive to heated rocks and heat mats if it's in the tank. So what we do with our heat mats is we slide it underneath the tank, and it can be stuck to the tank or it can just be laying underneath the tank. it still works both ways. And we keep it on, normally I would keep it on 85, 90 degrees, and that's under like the humid hide, and I keep it on the, the middle. So I try to keep that very humid so that they can go in there and it helps them shed very easily. And if you're having issues with shedding for your leopard gecko, you can give them a warm soak in a little tub or sink, as long as it's up to, I'd say, about right here, their belly, not no farther than that, because they can drown. Like I said, they can't swim. So you would have to keep an eye on them while they're in their warm soak and let them soak for 15-20 minutes, or you can let them soak for 20-25 minutes, just depending on if that's helping them get that stuck shed off. You can also take a wet Q-tip, warm wet Q-tip, and wipe them down on like their little hands, because they do get stuck shed on their hands really bad, their little feet, and around the face area and the tail area. Mostly the back area is not that, well, I have seen in our geckos has not been an issue, but on their toes they do have a little bit of an issue of getting it off themselves. So I do like to help them in any way I can. And I've also found, what is it called, Reptished. I've seen that at Petco and PetSmart, and I have not got it yet because I am very cautious about what I put on my geckos, and I don't want to put anything on there that would harm them. So I have yet to use that. You're more than welcome to try it and see how it goes, or talk to a more experienced breeder that has done this with the Reptished. They say you just spray it on your gecko or your snake. You can use it for snakes as well, and it helps them shed a lot easier. And I also use a spray bottle, and I spray the leopard geckos as well, and I spray in the humid hide to make sure it's humid enough to help them shed. So that being said, I think I went over most of the basics. And in the tank you want to have various terrarium or tank decor, shrubbery, lots of fake plants, and lots of hides for them to choose from and go to, because they're very shy and cautious animals, so they like to have plenty of areas to hide in and to get away from, just to feel safe. They love the clutter. And like I said, and with baby geckos on their diet, you don't want to do that with them. You want to feed them every day or every other day. And you want to allow them to eat as much as they can in 10 to 15 minutes, and then that'll be enough, because they're in the more growing stage, which, the adults are still growing and stuff, but they don't need as much because they store a lot of that fat right here in this tail. So they don't need as much as the younger geckos that are still growing. But see, she's very calm and laid back. Let's get a closer up picture of her here. Let's bring her up here and show her off. And she's a pretty girl. Very beautiful coloring. Look at this, it's just stunning to me. Absolutely gorgeous. She's never given me any issues, no problems. But let's break out of Simone here. We'll get her out one more time. I'll show you the difference between Simone and her while I'm here. Simone is more flighty. She's like more adventurous. But let's see here. We'll put Olive back over here. Go on, little Olive. Here's some. I'm gonna sit right there for me. Put Olive back in there. And what I mean, I'm putting them back in there. I'm putting them in these little containers. And this is not where they live. This is just for transportation, or while I'm doing videos, I can hold them in these while I'm showing them off. And then just put them back in there one at a time. And I'm just going to bring Simone a little closer so you can see her pattern. Now she is an albino. She's a chocolate bell albino leopard gecko. And as you can see, that beautiful head stamp right here on her head, it is absolutely gorgeous. I love this stamp on her head. And if I can get her close enough to the camera here, you can see her little face. She'll turn around. There we go. She's a beautiful girl. She has a beautiful pattern. But she is kind of dull right now because she is about to shed. You can tell. I can tell by the top of her little head there that she's about to go into shed because it's duller than the rest. And then the rest will start dulling out and then she'll go into shed. But, well, guys, I think this is going to be the end of my live video since it is the first one. I hope I've covered everything that you needed to know about getting your first gecko. Like I said, don't hesitate to reach out. You know, I'm here to help the best I can with what I know and what's worked best for our geckos. I mean, we have a total of 8 now. We sold 2 of them and gained 1 more to our collection. So we've been working with them. I've worked with them for 4 years now, and this is our first year of breeding our Leos. So hoping for the best with our babies. Like I said, we got 2 clutches right now, which is 4 eggs, and 1 clutch is about to hatch. Hopefully I can get that on video for you guys. That'd be really awesome. But thanks for joining in, and I'll be posting more little short videos, you know, of the Leos separately or together. You know, we do cohabitate our geckos. We've raised them from, you know, little babies until they're adults together. We've not had any issues. They actually love to be around one another. But alright, guys, I guess this is all for now. Like I said, this is the first one that I've done, so here we go.